ओम येनात्मना विलीयन्ते उद्भवन्ति च वृत्तयः नित्यावगतये तस्मै नमोऽधीः प्रत्ययात्मने प्रमथ्यवज्रोपमयुक्तिसंभृतैः श्रुतेररातीन् शतशो वचोऽसिभिः ररक्षवेदार्थनिधिं विशालधीर् नमो यतीन्द्राय गुरोर्गरीयसे शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। उपदेश साहस्री तत्वमसि प्रकरणम पेज नंबर 290 फ्रॉम श्लोका नंबर 124 a new topic has started. And what is the topic? Is Atma, which is Chaitanya Swarupa, can it be proved only through Nishedha Pramana? Can it be known only through Nishedha Pramana? Or do we need Vidhi Pramana also? Vidhi Mukhena, its Pratipadanam is required. This is the discussion. Purva Paksha is saying only Nishedha Mukha is enough. Sidhantin says Vidhi and Nishedha both are needed. In 126th shloka we saw Deha and Atma, Chaitanya, Tadatmya, because of which Jada Deha is thought of as Chaitanya. So, there is some such thing called Chaitanya, different from Deha like Jadavastu. And therefore, when we do Nishedha of all Anatma, its Paryavasanam, its culmination will be in that Chaitanya. And it will not be in Shunya. Siddhantin said, if you don't have Vidhi Mukha Pramana, and if you go on doing negation, you will end up in Shunyam. So, Purva Pakshi said, no, there is Chaitanya, and then Deha identifies with it, so that Deha has Chaitanya. In this way, we can do Siddhi of Atma, which is Chaitanya. So, Siddhantin said, you have anyonya ashraya dosha in your thinking. What is the anyonya ashraya dosha? That Nishedha Mukhena, when the Tadatmya Nishedha, if you do between Deha and Chaitanya, then you will do Atma Siddhi. Deha is different, Atma is different. When you separate the two, then Tadatmya Nishedhena Atma Siddhi. But Atma Siddhya Tadatmya Nishedha. Only when Atma, which is Chaitanya, is Siddha, then you will say Deha is not Chaitanya. So you have anyonya ashraya dosha. This is what Siddhantin told Purva Paksha. See further now. These are all unique discussions. Only in Upadesha Sahasri you will find such things. They are not discussed elsewhere. Atma na atyantam aprasiddhas tasya swata siddhatvad ityashankate. Ashankate means it is a Purva Pakshi Vakya. You should understand. he says Atma is not atyantam aprasiddha. Atma na atyantam aprasiddha. Why? Swata Siddhatvat. Atma is Swayam Prakash, Swata Siddha. So it is not aprasiddha. Therefore, when you do anatma negation, what remains will be Swayam Prakash Atma. Is Purva Pakshi correct or not?
Correct.
Anybody else?
Atma Siddhi was not done, so it's wrong.
Atma Siddhi itself is not done. Atma is Swayam Prakasha. Who has proved? There is no Vidhi Mukha Pramana for Atma Swayam Siddhi, Swayam Prakashatva. Therefore, what Purva Pakshi is saying, he is assuming that there is some such knowledge that Atma is Swata Siddha. See how he explains. And then how Sidhantin refutes him. Adhyakshah swayam astyeva chetanasya aparokshatah tulya evam prabodhasya danyasya sattvavadina. Adhyakshah swayam astyeva chetanasya aparokshatah tulya evam prabodhasya danyasya sattvavadina. Purva Paksha says, Adhyakshaha swayam asti eva. Why? Chetanasya aparokshataha. Because Chetana is aparoksha. Aparokshatvat. Adhyaksha means Atma. What is that Atma is still not clear. But Purva Pakshi makes this statement. It is swayam asti, swayam Chetana rupa and aparoksha. Siddhanti says, evam अन्यस्य असत्ववादिना तुल्य प्रबोधः स्यात्. अन्यस्य asattvavadina. Asattvavadi means Shunyavadi. Your knowledge will come up to this point where Shunyavadis came. Your prabodha means your jnanam, your understanding will be tulya, equal to Shunyavadi's understanding. Means Shunyavadi also came to this point. You will also come up to that point. What is that? That there is something which is Swata Siddha. They said that Swata Siddha is Shunyam. You are saying Swata Siddha is Aparoksha Chaitanya. But you don't know how to prove Swata Siddha is Aparoksha Chaitanya. They concluded Swata Siddha is Shunya. See in Tika. Chetanasya swato aparokshatvad ityartha. Chetana, according to Purva Pakshi, he says Chetana is swataha aparoksha. Dushayati. Siddhanti shows dosha in his thinking. Tulya iti. Evam sati. Anyasya asatvavadina shunyavadina tulyaha samaha prabodhaha syat tava. Tava you should understand. Your prabodha, your jnanam, your understanding will be equal to anyasya, anya who is asatvavadi, shunyavadi. Your understanding will be same as that. Why? Yatha shunyavadinaha pramanam vina swatah siddham shunyam atma iti. Just as for shunyavadi, without any pramanam, swatah siddham shunyam atma. This is their understanding. Na prabodha siddha. That is na prabodha siddha. Prabodha siddha here, prabodha means Shastra Jnana. Their Swata Siddha Atma is not Prabodha Siddha. It didn't come from Vidhi Mukha Pramanam. So your understanding also will be the same. Tatha Adhyakshasyapi Tava. Tava Adhyakshasyapi Tulyaha. You will also have the same Jnana. Because they did not use Shastra Pramana, you are also not using Shastra Pramana. They use negation. You are also using negation. For negation, you may use Shastra. But they, without Shastra, with Yukti, they did negation. They ended up in Shunyam. You will also end up in Shunyam. Purva Paksha says, no. Idanim smriti balena swata siddha adhyaksha siddhim shankate. Smriti balena swata siddha adhyaksha. On the strength of smriti, he says, I will prove that Atma is swata siddha. Aham ajñāsisham cheda miti loka smriteriha karanam karma karta cha siddhastve kakshane kila. Aham ajñāsisham cheda miti loka smriteriha karanam karma karta cha siddhastve kakshane kila. Aham idam ajñāsisham chet iti iha lokasmritehe karanam karma karta cha tu ekakshane siddhaha kila. Kila means, is it not? Purva Pakshi is saying, isn't it true that what he says in the whole entire shloka? Shloka is Purva Pakshi shloka. Isn't it true that the of people, lokasmriti, which is in the form of aham ajñāsisham, means aham idam in this karana, karma, karta, all of them at one point, ekakshane siddhaha. I knew this earlier. Aham idam ajñāsisham. I knew it. Lung lakar. Uttam Purush Ekvachan. Parasmay pada. Kartari lung. So I knew this when we say in the form of recollection. So karana, karta, karma, all of them are simultaneously siddha. Yugapat. Ekakshane. So in this way, if now you see, shloka says only this much. So what we should understand, first let us see Tika, then we'll try to analyze. Aham idam ajñāsisham iti iha vyavahare lokasya yugapat smriti darshanat. Aham idam ajñāsisham iti iha vyavahare, in this lokasya yugapat smriti darshanat. Loka has yugapat smriti. Ananubhute smriti abhavat. In ananubhuta vastu, ananubhute smriti abhavat. Karana, karma, kartaha, kartaras. If it is ananubhuta, smriti is not possible. Because there is smriti, therefore there has to be some anubhava. What will be that anubhava? Karana, karma and kartaraha. Karta, karana, karma, the instrument, object and the subject. त्रयो अपि एकक्षणे प्राक् येन सिद्धाः. Praak earlier, when the anubhav happened, yena siddhaha, so asti adhyakshaha swatah siddha iti gamyate. Simultaneously, they all become siddha. So that by which they all become siddha, that will be called adhyaksha, atma, which is swata siddha. This can be known. Kila, why kila is used? Kila iti anabhimatatva dyotanat purva pakshata dyotita ityartha. Kila is anabhimatatva. Anabhimatatva means, isn't it like this, like that when you make a statement? So, and therefore, Purva Pakshadya Dyotita. By this, it is a Purva Pakshi Vakya is revealed. Now, what is to understand? Instruments means Indriya, let us say. Karma means any Vishaya, external object. And Karta, here Karta will be Pramata. So, Pramata Prameya Pramana. Karana will be Pramanam. They all become known at once. So the Smriti is of all the three. Because at that time, I remember all the three things. I knew this object. So Purva Pakshi says, because of that, these three become known. That thing is Atma. So this is Purva Pakshi's argument. Now the discussion will go using this thread. Discussion will be, Siddhanti will say that they are not simultaneous. Pramata, Pramana, Prameya, they are not simultaneously known. They are known sequentially. So let us say Siddhanti says this. Let's see the next shloka. Etan nirakaroti. This is Siddhanti. Discussion starts now. Siddhanti is refuting this. Pramanye pismrute shaigrya yaugapadyam vibhavyate क्रमेण ग्रहणं पूर्वं स्मृतेः पश्चात् तथैव च प्रामाण्येऽपि स्मृतेः शैग्र्याद्यौगपद्यं विभाव्यते क्रमेण ग्रहणं पूर्वं स्मृतेः पश्चात् तथैव च स्मृतेः प्रामाण्ये अपि शैग्र्यात् यौगपद्यं विभाव्यते पूर्वं क्रमेण ग्रहणं तथैव पश्चात् स्मृतेश्च. In Smriti, let us say take Smriti as Praman, Siddhanti says. Because everybody doesn't accept Smriti as Pramanam. But we can accept Smriti as Pramanam. How? For example, how many of you know 15th chapter of Gita? Raise your hands. Okay, so many people know. So if I ask you, put your hands down. If I ask you to recite, let us say, and you will recite, if that recitation is correct, which means you recollected the shloka, so it is from Smriti. That Smriti is Pramana, because your recitation is not Badhita. So it need not be Anadhigata, but it is Abadhita. So in that part, it can be taken as Pramana. So all of such memories where we remember a Pramana Vakya only, and we reproduce as is. Some Upanishad mantra, Brahma Sutra, something, Vyakarana Sutra, all of that will be Pramana, as long as it is correct. So, if we take Smriti as Pramanam, Siddhanti says, then also there is Yogapadyam only in perception. Simultaneity is only in perception. Actually, it is Shigram. It is quickly happening. Purvam Kramena Grahanam. Earlier also they were known in sequence. And Tathaeva in Smriti also, Paschat, Kramena only. Kramena Grahana. So Purva Pakshi was trying to prove that because Karta, Karana, Karma, they all were simultaneously recollected in Smriti. Therefore, Atma is Swata Siddha. Because that by which they all three became known. Siddhanti says they are not simultaneous. Because they are not simultaneous, therefore you cannot use this argument to Swata Siddha. You see how Siddhanti is making his case. Purva Pakshi said, because they are simultaneous. See, when there is Karta, Karana, Karma, they all are simultaneously known. So what is he signifying? That it is not that to know Pramata, I use Prameya Pramana. To know Prameya, I use Pramata Pramana. To know Pramana, I use the other two. Because all three are known together. Yugapat. Because they are known Yugapat, therefore, there has to be something other than these three, which illumines these three. This is Purva Pakshi's argument. But Siddhanti is saying that they are not known simultaneously. They are known in sequence. According to Shunya Vada, Pramata alone becomes Prameya. Pramata alone is Pramanam. In Kshanik Vijnana, they use this technique. And Kshanik Vijnana, in Sushupti, there is no Kshanik Vijnana. Therefore, using Sushupti Avastha as Mukhya Avastha or the Avastha of Vichara. Because in Sushupti, this Kshanik Vijnana stops. Therefore, Atma is really Shunya. This is how they explain. So Siddhanti says they are not simultaneously known. They are known one after the other. Now this discussion will continue for a few shlokas. Okay. So let's see how it continues. Tika. Smritehe purvanubhava gamakattvena. You should not forget what is the main point. Siddhanti is trying to make that without vidhi vakya, Atma as Chaitanya, Aparoksha will not be known. And we may end up in Shunya. Smritehe purvanubhava gamakattvena pramanya api na yugapat pritaya siddhi gamakatvam. Smriti is purvanubhava gamakattvena pramanam. That something happened as anubhava earlier, and smriti can be pramanam for its recollection. And smriti is recollection. But in that, na yugapat pritaya siddhi gamakatvam. Simultaneously, all three are not known. Why? Yataha purvam kramena kartradinam. Kartradi, if there is anything, not krtradi, kartradi. That r below ka you eliminate. Kartradinam grahanam abhut tathaiva cha पश्चाद उत्तर कालम स्मृते संभवो अतः just as earlier पूर्वम क्रमेण कर्त्रादीनां ग्रहणम प्रमाता प्रमाण प्रमेय in sequence they became known. ग्रहणम अभूत, it happened. तथैव च पश्चात, in the same way later also. उत्तर कालम स्मृते संभवो, later also smritehe sambhava is in the same way kramena. अतः शैघ्र्यात् नैरन्तर्येण अविलंबात् योगपद्यम विभाव्यते. अतः therefore शैघ्र्यात्, शीघ्रता is there, शैघ्र्यात् नैरन्तर्येण अविलंबात्, because it is so fast and there is no vilamba, continuous fast without break. So you think it is yugapad, it is simultaneous. Yogapadyam vibhavyate, which is mrisha iti raksharartha, which is falsely. Falsely you think it is simultaneous. So Purva Pakshi may say, okay, so if it is not simultaneous, rapidly it is happening, so still Atma can be Swata Siddha. So this you put as a doubt. It's not discussed in this shloka, okay? But you keep it. And if you can think, then you think the answer. Artha trayasya ekasmriti abhav avabhasyatve nishchite sati evam syat. Artha trayasya ekasmriti avabhasyatve nishchite sati evam syat. Natu shakyate. Parantu natu shakyate. Parantu you can understand. But it is not happening. So the Arthatraya, Pramata Prameya, the Artha means Padartha. Padanam Artha, Padartha, that is Artha. Arthatrayasya ekasmriti avabhasyatve nishchite sati. If it is nishchita, that one smriti will illumine all the three, then evam syat. But it is not like that. Purva Pakshi. Sidhanti is saying. Siddhanti says it is not like that. Why? Yato aham idam janami iti kramena vyapadeshyate. There is a sequence. Aham idam janami. One after the other things come to your mind. Ato grahya spuranasya grahaka grahanakarata asambhavat. Tatkale tayor nam bhanam sambhavati. ग्राह्य स्फुरणस्य ग्राहक ग्रहण आकारता असंभवा. When grahya vastu spuranam is happening, means when the jnanam of prameya is happening, at the same time, pramata and pramana, grahaka grahana akarata. Grahana means that karana, you should understand. Akarata asambhavat. Tatkale tayor bhanam na sambhavati. Therefore, at that time, the bhanam of pramata and pramana is not there when prameya jnanam is happening. एवं in the same way, ग्राहकस्य प्रतीचः स्फुरण समये ग्राह्यस्य पराचो नास्ति. When grahaka grahanam is happening, pramata, then at that time grahya, grahakasya praticah samaye grahyasya paracho nasti. So when grahaka grahana is happening, spuranam is happening, then grahyasya of the padartha, its spuranam is not happening. Why it is not happening? Grahakasya praticah, both are shashti. Praticah means what is inner. And grahyasya parachah, what is outer. Paracha means it is also shashti. Parak. Shashti is parachah, external. It is very clear because when there is internal grahanam, how can there be external grahanam? Antakaran vritti either is inward, knowing pramata, or outward, knowing prameya. It cannot be both together. स्फुरणम पराचोस नास्ति स्फुरणम विरुद्धाकार द्वयस्य एकस्मिन् प्रमाण ज्ञाने स्फुरणा संभवात्. टू ऑपोजिट ज्ञानम विरुद्ध आकार द्वय, one is pramata akara, another is prameya akara. Ekasmin praman jnane, in one praman jnana, two spuranams are not possible. Spurana sambhavat. In the same way, third one also. Tatha jnanasyapi vishayikaakaratvat तत्स्फुरणेन ज्ञातृ स्फूर्ति इति तत्स्फुरणे न ज्ञातु स्फूर्ति. We should read that way. ज्ञानस्यापि विषयिककारत्वात्. ज्ञान is also विषय एकाकार. Here they have given स्फुरणेन ज्ञातृ स्फूर्ति इति क्रमेण एव ज्ञात्रादि सिद्धि प्रागुन्नेया. In actually we should read this way. तत्स्फुरणे न ज्ञातु स्फूर्ति. When vishayakar spuranam is happening, pramata spuranam will not happen. When pramata spuranam is happening, prameya spuranam will not happen. So spurane na, which is given, spurane na jnatu spurti iti kramena eva jnatradi siddhi prag unneya. So the jnatradi siddhi is kramena eva, in sequence. तस्माद् उत्पल पत्र शत भेदन योग पद्यादि अभिमानवत् युगपत् स्मृतिरिति अभिमानः शैघ्र्य निबंधन इति भावः. उत्पल पत्र शत भेदन. If you take a lotus and all the leaves you collect in a bunch, let us say, keep them together and take one needle and pierce it through the whole thing. So it seems that all the 100 petals are pierced together. but there is a sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a sequence, they all will be pierced. So tasmad utpala patra shata 100 utpala patra bhed shata patra shata bhedana yoga padya abhimana. But there is an erroneous abhimana. What is the abhimana? That they are pierced together. Like that, yugapat smriti iti abhimana shaighriya nibandhana. This yugapat smriti abhimana, erroneous notion, is responsible for the idea that it is happening together. Iti bhavaha. So this argument will continue in few more shlokas. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.